Hi there, and welcome back to another one take tutorial. It's been a while, but let's just say some people gave me some curry and some beer a few days ago, well, a few weeks ago, and that motivated me. I thought I'd quickly talk about head numbering and ordering, and why it's important and how to really take advantage of it, and why certain things happen in Magic Q that you might not understand. You accept it happens, but you might not understand why and how to manipulate that. And to do this example, I've got 6 LED bar cans and 5 Sharpies. Nice and simple in a truss, alternating one and then the other. Just to prove an example, so we do an FX, add an FX of intensity, dim chase, and I'll speed it up. So then the bar cans, it's going left to right. Yeah, as we'd expect. Why is it doing that? Well, is it because in the patch here, we hung them going left to right, and DMX channel 1 is the first light on the left, and on the right, the last one is 21, and we've distributed the numbers between them, and that's the way it goes, and it's going 1 to 6? Yes and no. It's not because we hung them, or if we're lucky, someone else hung them for us. It's because we as programmers asked it to do that. How did we ask to do that? Well, we selected the group and hit FX, and that's the default way. Yet again, how do we know that? Well, it's nice and simple. Chris and the team do not make Magic Q to be deliberately complicated. Quite the opposite. They try and make it as simple as possible for people, even as silly as me, to work it out. All this information we want is always on screen if you know where to look. I've done other tutorials where explaining how to fault find, and you need to use the programmer windows and outs and patches windows and start getting through things. But this is even simpler. A lot of people don't realise it does it, but as soon as I tell you, everything's going to suddenly clear up. If you start looking on screen right now, all this information we need to work this out is there right now, and it's somewhere that most people don't look, and they don't bother to look. And they don't know to look, but once I'm going to point it out, you're going to suddenly get it all. It's really simple. Look at the title bar of every window on screen. It says here LED 3 channel, which is the head type, plus V. It says after that, that's a virtual dimmer, but in the middle there it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the head's numbers. And just to prove it, I'll go to the Sharpies now. It's a bit more complicated and there's more writing in there because there's V dimmers. But if we go to the Sharpies that are more simple heads, it says 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's that order, right? Just to prove it, let's go 1 star, red. You see that? It's gone left to right. Okay, and again, 1 star and white. It's gone left to right. It's gone in order 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right. When you realise this, and it's not just that that's the head selected, watch this. We go into highlight mode. Once you're selecting one individual head, that's the head that's selected, that's the one that's written in the title bar, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, once you start to realise that, you can start manipulating things far more quickly and with far more clarity in your own mind of what's going on. I'll stay with the Sharpies. Let's say we want to go right to left. How do we do it? Select the group, and in the group window, in soft button E on the right here, it says normal. If we click it to say reversed, what's it say up here at the top? 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So highlight mode again. Now what's going to happen? Starts at the right and goes to the left. Go back to all. Yeah, again, select the Sharpies and let's select into center. The same thing happens. You see, it starts alternating, going from the outside into the middle. Right? And that is with everything. So in this case, I've got, that was me just going through highlights. Now let's add an FX. We'll go back to that dim chase over, we keep using, and if I put at 0, that will suddenly become clear, right? Well, it's hard to see because there's only 5 heads. It's starting on the outside and it's going into the center, right? What else? Well, so we'll go back into center there and we'll put them on full. Fan. Yeah, so what's it going to do if I move the fan at the moment? They're going to move into the center. No, they're not. Because it's working it out, it's calculating those fan positions from the order 7, 11, 8, 10, 9. Yeah, same. Turn off fan, let's go to odd even. What's it going to select? Those ones. And the other odd even's going to be those ones. Yeah, it's not the typical as we'd expect of odds and evens. Yeah, everything comes from everything. FXs, odds, evens, highlights, fans, blah blah blah. Everything is worked out from not just what's selected, but the order, right? And once you realise that the order is the important part, we can start to do more interesting things really quickly. Okay, so like I said, the normal is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right, so guy in charge of the show turns to me and says, right, I want to do a dim chase going left to right across the entire truss. I don't care if it's a blinder, I don't care if it's an LED power can, I don't care if it's a pixel mapping element, I don't care if it's a spot, a wash. I want a dim chase to go left to right across the entire truss. Well, how do we do that? Well, let's select the heads and add FX, and here we go, the intensity, dim chase, and no, that's not doing what we want to do, is it? Now, why is it not doing that? Like I said, all the information is on screen. How is the FX order worked out? Well, in the order the head selected. And how are they selected at the moment? It's going head number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, which is what we selected. I selected first one group, then the other group. Right? But that's not the order that they're rigged in. So who made the mistake? Magic Q or me? Well, me. How do we fix this? How do we make this simple? Well, there's a few ways to do that. I'm going to show you the difficult way. Okay, the difficult way is to go 1 plus 7 plus 2 plus 8 plus 3, and are you getting the point? I could be here forever doing this. Plus 9 plus 4 plus 10 plus 5, and yes, I'm exaggerating it by typing this in with the mouse, plus 11 plus 6 at full, and I didn't get them on, so what did I not type in? I did get them all. Would I have to get them in white? Well, something weird's happened. Just to prove the point. I don't know what's happened, and I don't know why, but guess what? I don't care. The quick and easy way to do this. If you spend the time, it's almost quick and easy, but it keeps going back to what I've said in many other tutorials. Spend the time getting things ready before you get going, and in this case now it's worth getting the visualizer laid out. Watch what happens. We can come into the plot window and select all of those heads in order. Now you see I'm going left to right. At the top it says head number 1, then 7, then 2, then 8, then 3, then 9, and 4. That's worked out for you. Let's do it backwards. And see, and it's adding number 6, then 11. It's even showing you the order they're appearing. It's populating the window. Okay, and that's the order it's working out in. So let's do as we wanted, left to right across them, and record that group. So let's see. Set all heads in order. All heads in order. Oh, my typing. Okay, so now every time we select that group, it's in order. Okay, so let's add that. Not edit FX. Intensity, dim chase. Right, so there we've got that dim chase across the entire truss. And like I say, it could be anything. Right, and like I say, it's not it's recorded in there. So if we go to view heads, you see there that group has those heads in order. What's the other way we could do it? Well, there's the old-fashioned way of selecting everything, and we could have gone, so there's one, then there's that one, then there's this one, then there's that one, then there's this one, then there's that. You know, that's the old-fashioned way before plots and so on was written into this. But the same thing. Just to prove what I was talking about, look, I'm going to go back in Shift and record these and make a new group, and I'll set all heads, which you could have done quickly. Imagine you're doing just a group of everything that are washes, where there are, I don't know, Martins and some LED things from whoever, you know, different washes, but just need a group of washes. Well, yet again, if you try and do an FX, it's doing that in the order of the original groups. So maybe that's not the right way to make that that group initially. Yeah, okay, if you just want to change colours and nothing else. But if you're wanting to do some FXs, you can start to see why maybe having 2 or 3 different types of groups of all heads or all washes, or all spots might be useful, or all heads on truss 1 or truss 2, truss 3. Yeah. I'll give you an example. I did some pixel mapping with some kinetic LED balls last year, and I actually made myself various groups. One was, there was 180 heads, and I made groups of each truss going left to right. Then I made, so it was 8 trusses going left to right, but then I also made the columns going vertically. And then I made a whole group of every head in order going left to right from front to back. And then I made another group of all heads going in columns vertically from front to back, and then next column front to back. And the reason for that is, even though you're just selecting all heads and going white, well, sometimes it might be that you want to do more of that. Go in white. In case you didn't know, you can, if you do 1 star red, you can move colours across the rig. Well, imagine I'm now doing all of those heads in order into centre, 1 star to white, and then I'm doing an effect into centre. And imagine that's 200 heads. Very quickly, I can start making things in different looks with very little effort. Whether it be, like I say, across many trusses in a stage, it could be a vertical effect or a horizontal effect. And like I said, there's many ways to set this up. The next reason to order these things out is, watch, if we go to this new group and we go up here, there's a new pixel mapper that was added around a year ago. It's also very useful and very quick to get things going. Now imagine, I'm with 1 truss, but imagine this is now 3 trusses in a large stage. If we go to view grid, right, but automatically what it does is lay everything out in a square by default. But we haven't got a square, have we? We've got an 11 by 1 line. Okay, so we just did that. And up here we're going to fill out the numbers we want. So we've got 1, then we've got 7, and then we've got 2, then we've got 8. And this is going to take me a while. Bear with me. Then 9, then 4, then 10, then 5. Then 11, then 6. Okay, so I've made in this top bar here, that's like a quick representation of this truss in its order. Why? Well, one, it's a quick grid laying out, right? And the whole reason is because if we now add FX, there's one here that says pixel map, the quick pixel mapper. And if we go to line vert, and we'll just call it intensity, that's now doing a pixel map effect across the intensities from that grid we made. Now, like I said, in this case it's as simple as doing a dim FX left to right and playing with the width and the crossfade. But like I say, now start thinking about making a group of 3 trusses. Okay, we could do that vertical line, so that flash we're going left to right across the entire stage, and it doesn't matter how many heads are on each truss. So imagine it's 3 trusses of 15 meters wide, and on the first head there's 10. First truss there's 10 fixtures, then there's 12, and then there's 6. If we lay out that grid with the heads relatively in position of where they are, that line will go left to right across all the heads correctly, visually as you want, right? And as you're doing that, you will see, just like always, the head numbers listed in the top of the window bar. And like I say, it all comes, everything that's calculated, all these looks and all these FXs all come from Magic Q being used that way, which is, what's important is that not just the head numbers, but their order they're selected in and displayed in, and that's how everything's calculated. Anyway, I hope that helped, and I'll see you next time.